Dingity ding ding ding.
The stock market has officially closed for today, Monday the 6th, and today's trading session honestly had it all. We had new record highs, we had some crazy breaking news related to AMD and OpenAI, but most importantly, we got a better idea of how this trading week is most likely going to be shaping up, which means that I'm here to give you not one, not two, but 3 different tickers that you should be paying attention to because they are looking like they are ready to make some pretty impressive moves. Obviously, before we get to that breakdown, if you enjoy these types of videos, let me know by saying hi in a comment below. Really does help out with the algorithm that runs my life. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. With that being said, let's dive into it. Alrighty, today, Monday, October the 6th, had a lot of moving parts, so I'm gonna try to get through as quickly as I can so we don't really waste any of your time. Here is the official headline when the market closed. S&P 500 and NASDAQ closed at a fresh record to start the week, helped by AMD. Fun fact, the S&P 500 almost hit an all-time high today. It was just below, like we're talking like a couple points below, 1 point below, but this is the 3rd record highest closing value in a row. On the other side, the NASDAQ did officially close at its highest value ever and also hit a new all-time record. And as I'm filming this, actually Bitcoin literally just hit an all-time high as well. So S&P 500 pretty much right there. NASDAQ, new record high. Bitcoin, new record high. Obviously not really the main purpose of this specific video, but clearly SPY, QQQ, and old BTC should be on your watch list. Now, one of the hottest stories of the day relates to AMD, which had a little bit of a weird day. We gapped up to almost a new record high, and I say almost because when you scroll all the way back out to roughly March of 2024, you're gonna realize pretty much the same value. And then here, it seems to be quite a bit of profit taking. Pretty much, I mean, at one, like, granted, it was still up a lot. Like, I don't want to diminish that at all, up almost 24%. But at one point today, it was actually up 35%. And you might be asking why? Well, it's a new partnership. OpenAI and AMD announced massive computing deal, marking new phase of the AI boom. 5-year agreement will challenge NVIDIA's market dominance, gives OpenAI 10% of AMD if it hits its milestones for chip deployment. I have to admit, this is hilarious because not too long ago, a week or two ago, NVIDIA gave OpenAI a bunch of money, and they said that money is going to be used to buy NVIDIA chips. But now, because they are flush with cash, they're able to get a bunch of loans, which allows them to go buy potentially 10% of their competitor. Like I said, pretty funny. But anyway, here are the specifics of the deal. AMD stock skyrockets over 30% as OpenAI looks to take stake in AI chip maker. OpenAI and AMD have reached a deal that could see Sam Altman's company take a 10% stake in the chip maker. OpenAI will deploy up to 6 gigawatts. That's a lot of AMD GPUs over multiple years, beginning with a 1 gigawatt rollout next year, 2026. AMD issued OpenAI a warrant for up to 160 million shares with vesting tied to deployment and share price milestones. So if you're looking at the daily chart and just the percentage gain, you're going to say, wow, AMD up almost 25% of billions of dollars. That's very impressive. However, if you caught the news late and then you're watching it from market open till now, probably a different feeling. You could see AMD started off the day around 227 and ended the day closer to 200. While on the complete inverse, you had the SPY open up, it dumped and then pumped into close. Same thing in the NASDAQ here. Opened up strong, probably because of AMD in the semiconductor sphere, and then kind of caught itself around 1030-ish, pumped up until about 2, and then power hour was, I suppose, power hour, but it happened to be for the bears, while the entire time Bitcoin was just a runaway train, ripping and ripping and ripping. So if you're wondering what happened with AMD here, it was pretty much just profit taking. We can see through the options market that there was no egregious bets against it. It's not like bears were coming in and buying a bunch of puts. We're not seeing a giant spike in shorts or anything like that. If anything, it was short-term players were saying, hey, we're happy to lock in our profits. And we're actually seeing new bullish bets for longer out. Just when I say longer out, I mean farther out than this particular Friday. So that's the general scene. If you look at the S&P 500, week in the morning in the around 1045, got a good pump in the options market around till 245-ish. But the thing that really caught my eye is the Mag 7. I get that price kind of came undone from 245 into market close, but options actually remain really resilient. And this really brings me to the premise of the list that I'm telling you, you got to be paying attention to. These 3 tickers, count them up, 1, 2, 3, all deserve a spot on your watch list because they are looking good. So without further ado, check it out. Numero uno, Tesla. If you've been watching the live show, shameless plug, Monday to Friday, 9 to 11, you can watch me degenerately trade my own account. It is free for everyone. If you're watching this, you might as well tune into the party. If you've been watching the live show, the update videos, you know that I've been watching Tesla pretty much ever since the start of September. I've made a couple trades, one really good trade, one break-even trade, one little small gainer, and really, I was super excited on Thursday, October the 2nd, massive gap up. But because it came down so much, I got knocked out, small game. Fortunately, today I was able to get back in because everything is aligning. Price structure, higher highs, higher lows. Momentum, prices above all the major EMAs. Look at this options flow. The bulls are ripping it. Buying calls, selling puts. And then when I look at the risk reward, well, from a technical perspective, I'm looking at 420. From the reward perspective, 471, maybe all-time high-ish around 488. But then I dive into where the big boys are playing in the options market. Check this out. You have a massive amount of support at 430, a massive amount of support at 430, a little bit at 420. So between those two, I really like the downside support. In terms of upside targets, I'm looking at 460, but then the big target is all the way up here at 500. So when I really put all this together, price structure, higher highs, higher lows, momentum, great, prices above all the EMAs. When I look at options flow, very strong. And then when I look at the risk reward, putting together both technicals and the big money bets, well, support is close by and the reward is very far away, which is an optimal ratio. So just so you know, these are in no particular order, but clearly Tesla worth a place on your watch list. And just so you know, I'm not just talking to talk, I'm walking the walk. I put my money where my mouth is. Right now, $20,000 bet. I'm currently up 23%. I'm up about 4.6K, and I literally made that position today. So of course, in the future, I'll let you know how this plays out. Number 2, Microsoft, MSFT. It had a huge rip on its earnings, gapped up to a new all-time high. Profit taking gets beaten down. A lot of accumulation. We almost got the breakout in mid-ish September. We put in this higher low, and now we are ready to go. Higher highs, higher lows. Price is above all of these EMAs. If you look at the flow today, very strong. Someone started buying a ton around 130-ish. And then once again, coming back to risk reward, remember, we have here Microsoft trading at the end of the day. What a great day, up almost 2% for the second biggest stock in the world. That's a big deal. Anyway, it's trading around 529. And you can see here, we have interesting targets at 535, 540, and all the way up here at 545. When I got in, it was quite a bit earlier. I had this support at 510-ish, and now we are looking at this first target. We'll just call it 540 because that is the top of the gamma node. And if that could break out, then we're talking all the way up to 565. So I like the option setup, and then also pure risk reward. You're looking at 520, the breakout of 533, the breakout of about 540, and then obviously from there, we are paying attention to the all-time high. Once again, similar to Tesla, not just talking the talk, walking the walk. I happen to be in Tesla calls, got in these today, and I'm already up a crazy 47%, a nice 8K. And last but not least, a new one for me. This is the first time I've ever actively traded SoFi. SoFi, and honestly, it's thanks to all of you. Those of you in the live stream, those of you in these update videos. A lot of you have been telling me to pay attention to SoFi, so I put it on my watch list and I waited because this thing was a runaway train and I didn't want to chase it. But I noticed on any major pullback, there was always seemingly a pretty good opportunity. So I told myself I need to wait for a pullback, and that's exactly what happened. And today it looked as maybe we're showing some bottoming, bouncing off the 50 EMA. So overall, this is still a little higher low. Prices is still on top of major EMAs, and I'm just trying to take advantage of this short-term pullback into the overall bullish trend. So I like what's going on. Obviously, here's a look at options flow, pretty strong on the day. And just so you know, it is trading at $26. So with respect to risk to reward, as long as it can hold 25 here, that's major support, which is really close. all of a sudden we might be talking about 28, we might be talking about 30, and then going back to the chart, great, 30's all the way up here. That's that recent high. So still, I don't know how many of these trades are going to hit or not, but I'm paying attention to the risk reward and then obviously trying to increase my accuracy by being on the right side of the trend. And once again, here's just proof of my own position. Currently break even. Today it was up a little bit, down a little bit. It's down about 3.9%. So whether it's SoFi, Tesla, Microsoft, I want you to know these are my own thoughts and opinions. Obviously, I'm putting my money on the line. I'm not just talking the talk here, but I just want to let you know, am I biased at this point? Maybe, but I also just gave you all of my reasoning. We had price structure, we have price momentum, we have options flow and option structure. When I see all of those things aligning, especially when that alignment is with the overall market, SPY, QQQ pretty much at all-time highs, makes me that much more confident. That's what I have for you. Of course, in a comment below, let me know, do you agree? Do you disagree? Or do you think that there's a better opportunity in the market right now that I happen to be missing? That's what I have for you today. I hope you absolutely crush it. I appreciate all the good vibes. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.